Hey, GLP-1 plus sides community. Before we jump into the podcast, please take the time to leave us a 5-star review on whatever audio platform you're listening to the podcast on. Share your story and how the podcast has helped you. This will help us get referred up in the audio platform so that we can reach more people that need our help, our support, and guidance from our doctors. Help us get loud and change things. Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault. Hey everyone, before we dive in, I really want to share something personal with you. About, I want to say like 8 to 10 months ago, after losing 100 pounds on GLP-1s and keeping it off for a long time, I started regaining out of nowhere, and I was terrified. But I also started having hot flashes and bouts of crying and snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. It turns out I was in perimenopause. So I started hormone replacement therapy, which is also called HRT, through a telehealth called Winona that specializes in this. And it changed everything. And now I'm sleeping better. And my hot flashes are all but gone, thank God. And I feel like myself again. And it turns out that you can actually start perimenopause as early as 35. And well, I'm 46 and she's here. HRT has really come a long way, and there's just no need to suffer anymore. So if you're like this and you're in the same boat, you can check out buywinona.com and you can use the link in our link tree to save some money.
Want the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ro now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper, with results you can see faster. Lose 15% of your weight with the formula from Eli Lilly that hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and nausea. Weight loss faster, confidence higher, price cheaper. See if you qualify at ro.co/TV.
Welcome. Episode 16 of the Plus Sides Podcast. This episode is called Weighted Down, the Mental and Physical Anguish of Obesity, because it is mental and physical. It's way more than people think. So we're going to talk about that with our community guest. And we're also going to have on a specialist that will talk to us about obesity from a clinical perspective. If this is the first time that you're joining, I'm Kim Carlos. Welcome. Where you been? We've been looking for you.
What's up, Kim?
We're 16 in. Go back. Listen to the rest.
Catching up to do.
This podcast was born out of the TikTok community, though people that have struggled with obesity and related diseases such as type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, PCOS, and many others. You wouldn't believe how many things are related. It's all connected. And we all support each other there. We all leverage a GLP-1, one of them in one kind of way, for many different things. And this is a very strong community, very tight knit. And we got to the point where we were seeing a lot of stuff in the media where they were taking our testimonials and diminishing them by cutting them and trimming them and frankly just getting it wrong,
And screwing them.
Yes. Yes. And,
Yeah.
and so we just got sick of it and we thought, you know what if we have our own narrative so people aren't afraid to go to their doctor and we can help them learn and understand these medications, understand their disease and how they treat them. And so let's start a podcast. And that's what we've been doing. It's been going good. You didn't know,
OMG. Yeah.
Go see Rosie's episode. It's episode 13. Go see it. It's great. Anyway, so in terms of little background, just so you guys know if you're first joining, again, my name is Kim. So I have lost 63 pounds now on GLP-1 medications, and I still have quite a bit to go, but my health has improved and I'm in a much better place physically and mentally, including with my anxiety and just many things I had, like the mental anguish that can come with obesity, and kind of all of it is very much related to the brain. So we'll talk about that today. But yeah, that's me. Kat and I and Janine all live in Atlanta. And so I'll just have them go here and kind of tell them a little bit. And that's our AT alien back there, and Prince representing, So, but yeah, Kat, OMG, technology Kat. That's
OMG.
OMG.
Yeah, it's been that kind of day. OMG, technology.
It has. We're losing like our guest and everything. What is the deal?
It took forever. This computer, I know I'm going to massage her a little bit. She's been here for a while. She's been fighting the good fight. But today I was like trying to restart it. Like, are there updates going on? Nope.
Yeah. No.
So as long as she stays there. OMG, technology.
OMG, Kat.
OMG.
Like, if anything happens, you join from your phone. Don't mess with
it. Yeah,
okay.
It's ready.
Okay.
It's ready.
Can't have this again. We lost Janine last week, and it was very sad. So we can't have that again. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of, so Kat, a little bit about you, so people, if they don't know you yet.
Get yourself a plus size water bottle. It holds 32 ounces. It's on my link tree. It's on everybody's link tree.
Right.
All of our link trees. I'm Kat Carter 7 on TikTok. But this thing is fantastic. I don't have to get up and go to my refrigerator for filtered water every day.
It's like all day. For a scrappy podcast with no budget. I'm just saying. Yep. So who are you? Why are you here, Kat? Why are you here? I'm going to be drinking a lot of water.
I don't know who I am. Anyway, so I am Kat Carter 7 on TikTok. I have a binge eating disorder. I've had forever. I've been obese ever since I was little. I was the chub kid. I've been struggling with weight. I've always been active. I love physical fitness. And so now, since actually starting to speak up for myself with doctors, I found a great doctor, not one that was dismissive and was a butthole and just told me to, push away from the table and work out more. I'm like, had they only known that I work out like a banshee, except for not these last 3 days, but that's neither here or there. Anyway, but Mounjaro, since taking Mounjaro, 61 pounds lost, consistent. And without Mounjaro, it was always up and down those same 35 pounds, or 30 gain 40. 30
what is it about 50. 30? I know that's how it is with me too. 30 is my number
white
2.
Knuckle it just
lose 30 on my own.
Yeah,
and I gain it back.
And then it goes right back up. But with Mounjaro, one thing I'll probably ask our doctor later on, but I've just been noticing not lately, but like a lot of people have like food aversion, or they have to force themselves to eat. That's never been my issue.
Totally mine. Let's ask her about it.
But I hit a wall. I hit a wall a lot sooner than I used to. I can't pack it away like I used to. Of course, obviously, it's for health reasons anyway. But yeah, for me, I could still drink wine, and not in gratuitous amounts. But like I could still, That's my question right now. But anyway.
All right. Well, we're going to ask her, because I love that, because I'm switching to Mounjaro. So I would very much like to know like her 2 cents on that, because she's an obesity specialist. Dr. Alicia Shelley. I hope I'm saying her first name right. We've been on the TikTok. Hey, Janine.
Hey,
what you doing? We're so glad to have you back
with a new haircut.
Yes, a new haircut, looking super shiny.
New
love
hair.
It.
Who is this?
Who is it?
New style.
She's cute. Who
is this? I tell you, it is just transformation time. Summertime, you're just breaking out of your shell, and you're going outside, and it still feels strange though. But I am Janine. I'm the Janine on TikTok. The THEE Janine. And I struggled with obesity late in life. And no matter what I did, the pounds just kept packing on. And
Uh-oh, we're losing her.
I'm listening for rain.
Is this storm? It's the storm.
It's the storm.
I think I hear rain.
I
She's
can hear
okay.
you
She's
now.
there.
I'm back.
It was
hear
her
you,
quick.
Rain.
It was her quick in and out one. We're cool. We're cool. That's what she does, like 5 seconds. 5 to 7
I'm
seconds.
back.
Hey. Okay.
But no. So
It's the drama. You keep the drama up.
I know,
like it.
love it.
you know,
Keep it lit. Yep.
I don't think there's any other way to do it, considering that it's, storming outside. But
Yes.
But-
Right?
I struggled with obesity late in life due to me being a type 2 diabetic, also hormonal changes, and having an autoimmune disease, Sjogren's syndrome. So I'm just so grateful that I found this community and found these ladies, and that we're getting the proper message out, and we're getting people the help that they need. So
Yes.
That's-
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad you came back. I was panicking just a little. Just because
Yeah.
last time
Panic,
was
love
so
bugs.
Cute.
No panicking.
All right. Well, we're glad you're here. So we just wanted to get intros out the way, and make sure everybody's on, and we're super glad you're with us. So our community guest today is Mandy, and we're going to invite Mandy in to tell her story, unfiltered and uncut. And then we will bring on Dr. Alicia Shelley, who is an obesity specialist, and we will talk about the clinical side of it, to talk about why it makes sense and it's true and it's facts and all the things. Okay? Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's invite in Mandy.
Sounds good.
Hey, Mandy.
Hi,
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm great.
You're good. We're super glad to
hi.
have you here.
We're
Try
super
it.
good. I like it.
Hey, Mandy. We're super glad to have you here,
Gremlin free.
despite all the technical difficulties in the land. But we're here now, and we really would like you to take this space to tell your story. Quick pause here. I've had moments on my GLP-1 journey where insurance changes or rising costs force me to look for a new provider. And honestly, that process can feel very overwhelming. But that's why the Plus Sides podcast has partnered with GLP Winner to give our subscribers a resource to help them make that decision easier. GLP Winner is a comparison platform that lets you explore telehealth providers in all 50 states, whether you're looking for brand name medications or compounded options. You can see pricing up front, read reviews, and get a clear picture of which provider might align best with your needs. Check it out today at glpwinner.com/plus-sides. That's glpwinner.com/plus-sides. Don't forget the Z. Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m., and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need.
"20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise." That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
Perfect. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, guys. My name's Mandy. I'm 38. I'm a mom of 6. I have 1 stepson. I have 4 adopted children and 1 biological daughter. I'm going to tell you from the beginning. I struggled with obesity from the time that I went through puberty. As a kid, I did keto. I, a 13-year-old eating only meat and eggs and cheese. I wonder now about my development as a young kid like that. But Weight Watchers as 14. I did the religious weight loss program called The Way Down. There's actually a documentary about that.
I've seen it.
Where really you're told that your weight gain is a failing of your faith and your spirituality.
Wow.
Wow, no surprise.
14
Go
years.
watch it. Hulu plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On it. Yeah, it was definitely a part of that. It was very expensive, I remember. And my mom, I remember her saying, like, you really have to commit to it because it's going to cost a lot of money for you to do. And I really wanted to, but as a 14-year-old, was not really able to white knuckle it as well as I learned later on in life. By the time I graduated high school, I was 250 pounds, despite being very active, a cheerleader, marching band, anything I could be in, I was in. So when I started college, actually my first year of college, I went to work with my dad in a gold mine. It's a really interesting kind of work-study program that they had, but it was 12-hour shifts. It was hard manual labor, and I lost about 70 pounds that summer.
Whoa.
So I came back, sophomore year of college at 180, feeling like hot stuff,
I am hot stuff at 180. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right?
You definitely were.
Was hot stuff. I mean,
yes, indeed. Yep.
But anyway, so I went to the doctor at that time, though, and was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. I was expecting for the doctor to be like, "You are in wonderful health, young lady," but no, I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic at 19. Also diagnosed with PCOS at that time, and I had HPV when, as a result of that, had an abnormal pap, which meant that I was at risk for cervical cancer. So she scheduled me to come back, but I was so afraid. I was so afraid to talk to her about my weight, about my sexual history, about everything. I was raised extremely religious, and so having an STD at 19 years old was embarrassing and traumatizing to me, and I didn't want to talk about it. So I didn't. And I waited 2 years before I went back to the doctor to find out that I did not, in fact, have cervical cancer. I mean, in that time, if I did truly have it, what could have happened to me? I don't know, but I'm so afraid of dealing with it and going to the doctor. And I had just somehow accumulated this big phobia of going to any kind of medical professional. So I transferred colleges. I took a hit on credit hours, and I actually got married my junior year of college as well. So all of that kind of sent me back and put me a little bit further. So it took me about 5.5 years to finish college. But at that time, I was right around 300 pounds. So I had gained back from the 180 all the way back up into, the lower 3s, upper 2s. And I started dealing with infertility and furthered my medical phobia. Now we have something here. We have something here called the RAM Medical Clinic. There are kind of horror stories about this, but basically that the healthcare is so scarce here that they offer it like doctors come from all over the country to offer healthcare to the people of Appalachia, and you receive your medical care in a cattle stall, basically. I mean, literally at the fairground where they keep the cattle, they're pulling teeth for people and providing medical care. And so I went to this clinic, and I had what is called a colposcopy and an endometrial biopsy done with no notice. This is something that's typically performed with you get, a pain pill beforehand that you take, and then they give you, they numb you, and then they perform it. But because it was part of this medical clinic, I had no numbing. It was performed by a medical student who did not even know how to use a speculum properly. And it was traumatizing to me. It was some of the most
it was.
I went through before childbirth. It was horrible, and it scared me again not wanting to go to a doctor, not wanting to talk about my weight, not wanting to deal with my infertility because I don't want to go through that kind of pain, And so at that point, graduated college, weight increased. I was in 330, 340 territory. So just a history of my weight going up, 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 but really kind of attributing it to PCOS and not really being able to reach out to the right doctors for the right amount of care. So I decided at that time that I would join Curves. Curves, you and I was like the female gym, but they also had a weight loss program at that time. So I joined that weight loss program, and it was really like a low calorie, high protein, high fiber kind of diet that you followed, and you would do the Curves routine. But from that kind of set me on the path to losing weight. I lost probably my first 80-ish pounds using that Curves program. So I got down to about 250, and then took off and started my own kind of weight loss fitness journey, and really kind of just monitored calories very strictly. I would cry if I went over my calories. Like if I found out like that the calories in something was not correct. It wasn't listed correctly on the MyFitnessPal website. And so I had been putting it in for weeks and eating the same meal. And when I found out that it was not the right amount of calories and it was actually 500 or 600 off, I had a full on mental breakdown. I cried for days.
Oh my gosh.
So I was white knuckling it. I mean,
diet culture. Yeah.
I really wanted it to work, like I was doing the work, and I'm like, you have all these things kind of like working against you, like these inaccuracies online. And then you're like, what now? So I was able though to lose down to about 215 at that time. So from 336 to about 215. But during that time, I was feeling very motivated. I wanted to change my life. I was unhappy in my marriage. I was unhappy. I wanted to be a mom. I was unhappy in my career. I was unhappy with my weight. So I said, you know what, we're going to overhaul the whole thing. So, I lost the weight. I got a new job. I opened our home as a foster home. And I thought, this is going to fix everything. So at 220 pounds, we got our first foster placement. And that was 3 kids. So I went from 0 kids to 3 overnight. They were ages 1, 8, and 13. So I had one of all of them. I had an infant and an adolescent and a teenager. And that threw me for a loop. At the time, I had all the time in the world to do my thing. If I woke up and I ran 2 to 5 miles every morning before we got the kids. Then we got them, and I had to focus on them. They needed a mom. They needed somebody who was going to be there and be very present for them. And the diet and the exercise went out the window because I had a new focus. So I really poured myself into those kids. Foster care is really, really hard. There is a lot of secondary trauma that you experience as a foster parent, hearing about the trauma that your kids went through. And then, your kids, they act out due to their trauma, and then you incur trauma from their actions. And it's very, very difficult. And I know at the time, because my marriage wasn't great, I didn't love myself. I was looking for these 3 little beings to be what I wanted, that was going to fill me up. But that isn't what foster care is. These 3 little beings had nothing to give me, and they needed everything from me. And I gave it to them because I wanted to. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm there with you.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a safe place, Mandy. You can say what you need to say. People are going to listen to your story, and they're going to say, that sounds like me, and they're going to get help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
it's very brave. Very brave.
Beautiful children. And at the time, our marriage was still very, very rocky. And I remember a conversation we had one night he said, "I'm not going to watch you regain this weight. I will not buy you a single piece of clothing that is above the size that you are now. So you need to make a decision."
Wow.
And so we thought this would be a great time to have a baby. I got pregnant
Lifetime.
here. After 6 years of infertility, I managed to get pregnant with our daughter. And I gave birth to her in April. Beautiful, healthy baby girl. And then we finished our adoption of our kids in September. It was so awesome, and I loved that I had her first and that I adopted them afterward, because when we went through the adoption, the ceremony of the adoption, because they'd been mine for so long, but I felt those same feelings that I felt the day that she was born, and I really felt, I felt like they were born to me that day. It was really cool. But at that time, we actually also got a call from my daughter's best friend, and she said, "My dad has passed away." She had been in foster care for years as well. She said, "My dad has passed away. I'm open for adoption. I don't want the family I'm with to adopt me. Can I come be with you?" She said, "You told me I could call you if I ever needed anything, and I need a family." And so I said, "Come on." So at that time, we had two 15-year-old girls now, and our son was 11, our daughter was 4, and a newborn. So my house was full. So were my hips. I regained. I was, back up to in the 300s, 350 is kind of where I hovered. I stayed there. But I was so busy raising these children and doing, everything that I needed to do for them, court, that goes, after the adoption. Well, then we had another kid, and we started the whole foster care process again with the court and meetings and things like that. The thing about foster care and adoption, I will make my plug for it, there is such a high need, and there are not enough parents who are willing, not enough people who are willing to take kids, teenagers, whatever. My teenagers are the best thing that I ever did. I'm so glad that I adopted them. They are wonderful human beings. They're 22 now, so they're awesome. Plug for teenage adoption. So we actually got a call after our adoption of our fifth child, about a 1-year-old baby. So we had one 1-year-old baby. They called us. We took this placement of this other 1-year-old baby, because something about me is I will just keep giving. I will just keep doing it. And my whole family was like, "Mandy, this is a mistake. You are overwhelmed. You are overcome. Like, you cannot do this." And at the time, I was, truthfully, I couldn't have done it without my older kids kind of helping me and supporting me. I had so much physical pain in my body from postpartum and depression that I had to I would say I have to find the will to live to stand up. I could sit here on the couch and just die. I'm in so much pain, but I have to find the will to live to get up and go to the kitchen, or get up and go to the bathroom, or whatever it was. And it would hurt so bad just to stand up, just to walk down the stairs. And that, I feel like, was a physical representation of manifestation of my depression at the time. I was struggling with postpartum and didn't realize it. And I was so busy helping everyone else, that I wasn't seen. It wasn't, nobody picked up on the fact that I was really in the depths of depression and struggling very, very, very much. We were in marriage counseling at the time, and the thing that I sort of felt like was going to save our marriage is if I let our foster daughter that we had go to an adoptive home. And I did. It didn't. Spoiler alert. But I still do have contact with her. She's in a wonderful adoptive home with a great family, and we get to see her on her birthdays, and she is good. But it was difficult for me to let that go. Moving forward in time, I met a wonderful person who, like, have you ever met a twin flame? Any of you know what a twin flame is?
Mhm.
We were instantly best friends. We talked all night the first night we met, and we talked every day, all day for the next 6 months probably. And this person really started to help me heal my self-image. She was the first person I'd ever come into contact with who really made me believe that I wasn't difficult to love, that it wasn't hard to love me. And I started a journey of self-love and self-discovery. This was in 2019. This was at 380 pounds. I would get dressed, hair, makeup, whatever. I would take pictures. I would take a picture of myself that I liked. I would take pictures until I took one that I liked. That meant maybe sometimes I had 50 or 60 pictures of myself at different angles that day. So be it. And I started to look in the mirror and pick out something that I liked about myself every day. If it was the fact that I had a perfect shaped nose, or it fits just right when I do this with my fingers, perfect. It's the perfect nose. I love the way my eyelashes flip up in the corners. Little things. I started with the little things. I moved to the bigger things until I could look at myself in the mirror every day, and I stopped seeing things that I hate. Everything that I saw, I loved about myself. Everything. And that is hard for some people to believe, that a person at 350, 375, 380 could look at themselves and say, I don't see a thing wrong with you. That was very difficult for my husband at the time to accept, because he had used my dislike of myself as a means of controlling me and what I did and how I acted. And that was very difficult for him. So in 2020, he finished his 5-year electrical apprenticeship, and he went on the road to work, and he left me and all the kids and our new granddaughter. So I have a granddaughter. One of my daughters gave birth to at age 19. And she lived with us, she and the baby and the 3 other kids. So we had, again, back up to a total of 5 in the home with her. And it was okay. The divorce was okay. It wasn't the easiest thing, because at that time I was not working outside the home at all. And I didn't know if I could maintain our life as it was. But I knew I could try, and I would do everything I could. It came as a shock. It was 2020. Nobody was happy. Everyone was miserable, and everyone was going through their own things, But in November of that year, I also learned that my brother was very, very sick. My brother, who's 3 years older than me. He had weight loss surgery in 2018. And he had surgically induced bulimia from his weight loss surgery, which means that he couldn't eat any more than what a brand new surgical patient is able to eat, like the first day. The 2 tablespoons, that was all he was really ever able to eat. And so as a result of that, he developed a drinking habit. He got a transfer addiction from, not being able to fulfill his food addiction anymore. He became addicted to alcohol. And so that surgery only being, maybe it was 2016, 2017, I cannot remember the exact date. About 3 years was all it took to put him in end-stage liver disease. And it was, about December when we realized that there was no coming back from it. We thought maybe he could get, a transplant, or how long could he live on dialysis, because his kidneys were in failure as well. He was in kidney failure. So, around Christmas time, we had to accept the fact that he wasn't coming back from it. He came to my home on hospice in January of that year. And I had to watch my big brother, the most brilliant and kind and gentle and funny person, I had to watch him die. It was a decision to die. The decision to have the surgery was something that was supposed to save him. And it was something that was supposed to keep him here. And it wasn't. And knowing now that he struggled for years with an addiction quietly, while still being a great brother, while still maintaining relationships with all these people who just adored him, is really hard to think about. He was 38, and I'm 38 this year. I watched his daughter graduate this year.
Take all the time you need. Just breathe with us. It's heavy. I know.
Mm-hmm.
It is heavy. We talk about this is the weight.
This is the weight. It's a safe place.
People will ask me often. I go live on TikTok, a couple followers,
Just a little.
They ask me all the time, how could you let yourself get to that point? How do you let yourself get to 400?
It's not even a how. It's easier than
it's easier than it looks. Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's a slippery slope.
Easier than it looks.
Yeah.
At the time, I still had this wonderful friend, and I met my fiance shortly after that, and he was just another person who taught me that I wasn't hard to love.
We already love you.
We have, there is the grief weight, and then there's the happiness weight, and they're coming on at the same time. But from that point, I started a new job outside the home. I bought my house. So my kids live in my house with me that I bought. I picked myself up, and I insisted, even being in a serious relationship shortly after my divorce, I insisted that I be able to take care of my kids myself. That I don't count on anybody for anything, and that I could do it.
Yeah.
And I did. So that, 2021 was all about that. It was about picking myself up and starting over. And in 2022, I went out to visit my dad. My sisters were there, my dad was there, and we had an excellent flight out, no issues, no problem on the plane. Awesome. It was great. And we went out, and my dad sat with me, and he said, I don't know how else to tell you this, but I don't want to lose another child. I'm worried about you. Let me do what I can to support you. Let us help you. We will, if it's financial, we'll be there. If it's emotional, we'll be there. Whatever it is, let us help you. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it at the time. I thought, I don't want to end up in the same position that my brother was in. And I'm scared, and I don't know what else to do. So on the flight home, I had paid for an exit row seat, as I had on the flight out. But on the flight home, they were like, you can't sit in this exit row seat with a seatbelt extender. They said it really loud.
Of course they do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I've been there.
To move and switch seats with me, mortifying. And then, the next flight, we paid for like the comfort seats at the front of the plane, but the comfort seats actually have a comfort seatbelt, and that comfort seatbelt is not suitable for a seatbelt extender,
right?
Which they loudly announced at the front of the plane for my second flight, and it was mortifying. And the girl was, I will say, the flight attendant was so nice, this one, and she kept trying to make it better, but she was making it worse by like giving me free food on the plane and being like, anything we can do to make you more comfortable. I was like, ignoring me for the rest of this flight would be the best thing that you could do.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed about this.
Of course.
So I get home and I start looking for weight loss surgery options in Mexico, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to afford this. Okay. So I scheduled my surgery for January 2023. This is happening. And then I see a TikTok about Mounjaro and about the coupon. I'm like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Even if they make me pay out of pocket, I can get a couple months on my weight loss surgery money. And if it works, it'll be worth it. So I weighed in that day that I started my Mounjaro at 400 pounds. It's 400 pounds that day. I couldn't believe it. When I looked at the scale, I was like, not really willing to accept it at that time, you know. But over the next 10 months, I changed the way I eat. I started walking, started working on myself, and I've lost 132.4 pounds. I'm 267.6 today.
That's so great.
Applause.
Applause.
I said a crazy
Your fingers.
We're getting married in October, and I looked at my fiance and I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if I was 250 at the wedding? I was in October.
Yes.
That was a crazy goal. That was like beyond my wildest dreams goal. But at this point, I've lost 33% of my body weight.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So great.
I will say this, though, that the emotional weight does not leave as quickly as the physical weight sometimes.
Yeah.
And I have to relearn how to love this body.
Yeah.
I loved that 380 body, and I learned all the pieces and parts of it, and I became okay with that. And then when you start a weight loss journey, you maybe start to say, maybe I wasn't so okay with that. I wish I wasn't so okay with that. I wish that my arms didn't hang down this way. I wish that I didn't, you know, whatever. And you sit and you pinch and you prod and poke all of the parts of the body that you wish would shrink.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not the only one who does this in the shower.
Yeah.
Get that fluid out of my arms or whatever. I just maybe if I massage really hard, I can reshape the way that my fat rests in my butt or whatever.
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't need Mounjaro if that was the case, right?
No doubt.
Nope.
But it that part doesn't leave as quickly, the emotional weight. And you can, going through this story in preparation for this podcast, I thought my story is kind of rainbows and butterflies. It's kind of boring. Like, you know what?
Mm-mm.
No. I did forget to mention that I started with an online provider in August when I got my medication. And then I was ready to go to my doctor in November of 2022.
Okay.
So at that time I had a full panel of blood work done and found out that I had in fact developed type 2 diabetes. So I am dealing with that now my A1C has improved in the past 6 months. But it is still something that I'm gonna have to contend with, you know, but I'm not afraid. I have the tools that I need to do it now. So
you've done it.
Yeah, you're already there.
Yeah.
And you had really good news recently, I hear too, about it being added to your formulary, right?
Oh yeah. It is on my formulary.
Yes.
With that and the new coupon, I think we are gonna keep going.
I think so too.
Oh, fantastic.
I think you got this.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when your wedding dress is too big? Oh.
Well, it is a little big.
Skinny girl problems.
You know, the area where it doesn't fit anymore is right here.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Oh, no.
So I think some tape and some magic. And,
sure.
You know, the shapewear can move things into different places.
I heard.
Yes, it can. Yes,
we're going to do just a combination of those things. And instead, I was like, maybe I'll buy a new dress. The controversial wedding dress, 3.7 million views on TikTok.
It was awesome.
People hate it. People hated the dress.
I think that's how I found you.
I was like, it was. They could see my extra stuff in because I wasn't wearing shapewear. But like, when you have a drastic weight loss, it really shows. And
Right.
they hated it. So I really had thought, like, maybe I'll get a new dress. Maybe I'll use,
Yeah.
whatever. But no, it's really important for me now.
Go with your gut.
Yeah.
Oh, then it come out right. Like I meant it in a fun way, but it came out weird. Because we're literally
Go
talking
with
about
your gut is actually perfect. And
go with what your gut. That's what we always say
gut.
when you're shopping, right? What does your gut say? Like
Sometimes it says two things.
it said a lot. It really did. It said a lot.
Laughter through tears is my favorite emotion.
Yeah.
You know. Well, that was such a great story. I mean, like I think, and I know it was hard to tell because I know it's heavy. I think we're all like emotionally because we understand, like, and I think everybody's story looks a little bit different, but it's kind of all the same in a way, and I think that's kind of what sort of binds us together in the community. And there's a tremendous amount of trauma and heaviness that comes with this. And so when we see our friends that become our friends in this community and we see their lives improve, we understand their joy and like we can experience the joy with them
Experience
at
it
the
with
same
them. Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And it's very special. Community is very special. So I thank you so much. We would love if you would stay on with us. We're going to ask on Dr. Shelley to talk a little bit about some of the clinical side of things so people can understand that these are stories, but there is facts and science and data behind these things. And people need to understand that they're true and they're real, and then hopefully they'll also, if they're in a place like you were in, or like any of us have ever been in, they'll go, you know what, that does sound like me. And I think I'll go see my doctor. That happens almost every episode. I'm telling you, I get a message every episode. It's really powerful. So thank you so much for being here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me add on Dr. Shelley.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Shelley.
Hi, Dr. Shelley.
How you doing?
How are you guys doing today?
Well,
Doing well.
I've got the tissue out. So
I know. Tissue's out.
But I'm good. How are you? Is your evening going well?
I can't complain. I can't complain. The storm has passed over, so we're doing good.
It hasn't hit here yet. I'm in Noivus, so
we had a huge.
Well, I know we have a doctor friend in common with Dr. Toomer, who's on episode 8, part 1 and 2. We had a good old time.
Yeah.
And we're very excited that you're here with us. You got to hear Mandy's story. We have some questions that are aligned with that. So we're going to kind of just go through them and have a conversation. Sound good?
Sounds excellent.
Okay, great. So for those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your career and things you focus on?
Oh, yeah. So I am a board certified internal medicine, obesity medicine physician. So I do a combination of primary care and obesity medicine in Douglasville, Georgia, which is outside of Atlanta.
We're neighbors.
Sorry, I didn't know you were in Georgia. I totally know Douglasville.
Yeah, that's what I was like. You're talking about storms.
The storm, yeah.
Storms too. And I was like, oh, we're in the same place.
We're neighbors.
But and so I actually have suffered, not necessarily suffered, but I struggled with my weight. Really since childhood. I look at pictures and I see where I was not only the tallest child, but also I had extra weight, I had more weight than the other children did. And of course, kids being kids, bullied and picked on and all the things throughout childhood. It wasn't until I think I got to college when I actually, they talk about gaining the freshman 15. I gained the freshman 25. And it wasn't until I started to actually toward the end, we moved off campus. I was able to cook for myself and started getting active and lost weight. But then medical school happened. And so with the stress, eating on the go, studying crazy hours, that weight started picking back up. And so by the time I had ended up finishing residency, I was at my highest weight. And at this time, they didn't really have GLP-1s. They had phentermine, which I tried. Contrave was coming out. I tried. I was working out with a trainer 3 times a week, going to Weight Watchers, Judy Craig to help with the eating. And it just wasn't enough for me. It wasn't enough. After about a year or so, my weight was even higher. Maybe the stress of being a new primary care doc out here. trying to learn, having that learning curve, trying to learn how to, they teach you how to care for people, but it's different when you're outside in the real world. And so where you have constraints and paperwork and admin stuff, all that business that you may not see at your doctor's office, but all the things you have to do. And so at that moment, I, underwent bariatric surgery in 2015. And at my highest weight, I was 285. I was able to lose down to about 205 after bariatric surgery. But then stress happened again. I started gaining that weight back. And before you knew it, I was at 240 or 245. And I knew I had to do something different. I mean, I was still exercising. I was running. I was, still being active. But I realized I needed extra help. And that's when I was started on Saxenda. And if people are not familiar with Saxenda, it was the first kind of GLP-1 weight loss medication. And it was a once daily injection. And so I started doing that and I was able to lose weight. And then I still got back down that 205, could never break that 200 area. Got down, I think, 205 was probably the lowest. And then gained the weight back again. I had taken birth control, and birth control pills just kind of, what just happened? But then Wegovy started to come out, and that's once weekly injection or semaglutide. And so with that, I also embarked. I started. Let me just start with this. I started running in 2016, so just a year after my bariatric surgery, after a friend encouraged me to do a 5K and just fell in love with it. So it was one way how I stayed in shape, because I was constantly trying to, go for this race or that race. And so in 2021 is when Wegovy started. And so I had I also decided to do an Ironman. So a combination of an Ironman training, having Wegovy on board, it allowed me to kind of break that 200 mark. And so now I'm around like 187, 185, depending on the day. And so it has been very helpful in being able to get past that point. But it's, it's necessary. And so sometimes, people feel like taking a medication is cheating. But this is just a tool. This is just, it's like similar to diabetes or high blood pressure. You need a tool to kind of help with getting you to a better place. And so that's how I see the medications. This is more of a tool. So, and that's a little bit of my story. I'm so glad to be on with you ladies and just share.
We're so glad to have you on. You're a member of the community and one of our supporters.
Yes, exactly.
So
that's pretty awesome.
Okay, so talking about doctor aversion, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so Mandy mentioned that, like, obviously going through a traumatic experience, like with the doctor that she went to, and also mentioning like when she was young and coming up from a very religious background, like, all those things. I think that being doctor averse seems to be very, very common in our community. Like I've even noticed it with, and I do the same thing. And I very strongly believe that you should work with your doctor, but I still do it. And, but I think that it's like, we'll go to our community and ask them questions because we're afraid if we tell our doctor, they'll take us off the medicine that's finally working for us, or we don't trust them somehow. Like, because for so long, many doctors, because they didn't really know the answer to obesity, right? They kind of knew it was this thing. And we've learned through this show that, there wasn't always an obesity specialist specialty, that it's actually pretty new, right? In terms of medical new, right? And I think that it's something that seems to be everywhere. We're afraid, even the doctors that are helping us, it's like, we're afraid to talk to them about things. And we tend to go to our community first, and I'm wondering, like, especially since you've gone through something similar before dealing with obesity growing up, why do you think that is? Or do you even feel it? I'm curious.
Oh, so yes. So studies have actually shown that there is a lot of weight bias and weight stigma in the healthcare community. And so it's understandable that people feel this way because it's there. You may go into a room and the doctor is like, oh, you have knee pain. It's because of your weight. People, they're like, oh, you have back pain. It's because of your weight. Oh, because this is because of your weight. And so a lot of times when people, I'm a primary care as well. So they come to me and they're like, I know it's part of my weight. I anything about their weight, but this is what just comes up, and they do see it. Sometimes they polled nurses, they polled doctors, and they notice that there is a bias that people who have extra weight, they feel like they're lazy or they're not working hard enough to lose the weight. And what we know and what we're trying to dispel that notion among our own medical providers and primary care is that obesity is a chronic disease. It's not just, eat less and move more. It's not, there's more to it. And when we look at Mandy's story, and I hope you don't mind just sharing some things that kind of help with increasing your weight. But she mentioned she would suffer with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which makes it very difficult for you to lose weight. It also puts you at increased risk of insulin resistance. And when that means that you have so much insulin in your body floating around, and too much insulin can lead to more fat deposits that kind of increase your weight. She mentioned struggling with depression. Our mood plays a role. Chronic stress can lead to increased weight, increases our cortisol levels. And then on top of that, if you have she didn't say this part, but if you have like a thyroid condition or even genetics, if it runs in the family, for me, my family, it runs in the family. Usually like with my mom and my grandmother, they gained weight after having kids. My mom had thyroid disease too, so it increased her weight. But then for me, it was like when I was a child, I had that problem. And so sometimes it runs in the family, and we don't know everything that we could know about genetics. We do know some things about, some genetic disorders that kind of put us at increased risk for weight gain, but there's so much more that we need to learn. And so when the doctors come in, and like you mentioned, it's a new field. So it's not like we were taught this in medical school. I had to actually go in and study and actually take a test to be certified or a diplomat of the American Board of Obesity Medicine. But I learned that outside of residency, outside of that.
Wow.
And so now we're trying to change that so that we can be able, because obesity just affects everything. It affects many different conditions, like over 270 medical conditions that are affected because of having obesity. And so we're trying to teach the generation that's below us, more about what obesity really is and how we can actually approach our patients about it. Because I've had patients that came to me and they're like, Doc, I don't want to see my gynecologist for a pap smear. I want you to do my pap smear, because of how they felt when they went to the doctor. They felt like, oh, my weight is too much, and it starts from the waiting room. It starts from, we don't have like a seat for you to sit down and you're kind of stuffed, and it has what's called?
Arms.
The armrest.
Pushing your thighs. And then on top of that, you get on the scale and only goes up to a certain amount. So you're like, you already feel defeated just from the waiting room and the scale. And then not only you get to the exam room and we give you a gown that is not big enough to cover you. So you're, let's say if I'm doing an EKG, your breasts are hanging out. So there are many ways where we as a medical society need to improve as far as how we can help people to not feel doctor averse starting from the waiting room. And so I know that's something that we're trying to do, just as a whole obesity medicine, to just teach others so that they can be more aware.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, I certainly didn't understand it. I mean, even when I was talking with Dr. Rosen, who's a bariatric surgeon, that was on episode 5. I've had lap band surgery, and I still eventually gained it all back too. And he was like, I bet nobody ever told you have a chronic medical disease. And I was like, not until now.
Exactly. Yeah,
he was like, you didn't have the tools. You had what was available at the time. And it turns out we know more and there's better things now, And I thought that was just a really big deal. Nobody ever said that to me. It was always evident that they thought that I was gluttonous. That was how I took it. Right now, I also, I feel like perspectives are not always are not always valid. Like just because I'm experiencing something some way doesn't mean that's like actually happening. It's just like my experience, So I think sometimes that may not have been it, right? Like maybe that was a kind doctor, or maybe there was bias. Like you never really know. I think I don't know if we're ever going to be able to like combat that completely. I would hope things would evolve in that direction. There is always hope, as Janine says, the audacity of hope.
I think as people retire, and we can teach this new generation, they'll be able to look at it differently. Hopefully. That's
I hope so.
I've definitely, I've seen that. I've felt that trend, with younger, like I'd say, like, not to categorize, but like millennial doctors, they seem to be a little bit.
I think so. And then I like that my son is seeing me do a podcast about obesity, and like for sure. And I don't know how things are going to swing for him genetically, but genetically on my father's and my, like, we're all obese. So we're working on it. But he seems to be more like his father was growing up, which is very like naturally lean. So now I'm focusing more on like discussing nutrition. Right. And like, let him just understand those kinds of things, discussing why moving your body, because he's very like intellectual, so I'm hoping that he'll come with a level of empathy, and maybe that'll trickle down. Everything's about making a ripple, right? And seeing how it goes. But yeah.
Oh, definitely. And hopefully as we start to educate not only the doctors, but then society, because there's a lot of weight stigma in the workplace, weight stigma
for sure.
On media. Like how many times they're doing a weight, especially with these two different medications, they do like a segment and they show the person, they don't show the face, but they show like the big stomach. And you're like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Not making this person look any flattering at all. So, but hopefully we can just share that so that people have a better understanding.
Yeah. Janine, I think you had a question, one that maybe got a little bit answered through it, but it's probably good to clarify. Dr. Shelley's so great at it. He's like answering everything.
Dr. Shelley, I know, right? I think it's like, Rosie, the medical edition. Right. Dr. Shelley, Mandy talked about being pre-diabetic at 19. Even with her weight gain, she, didn't hit the threshold of diabetes, which, A1C is 6.5. So why do some people develop diabetes with obesity and some don't?
So, definitely a couple of things. Mandy did also have PCOS. And with that polycystic ovarian syndrome, it actually puts you at increased risk of insulin resistance. And so what insulin resistance is, and let me just kind of just describe it. When we
That'd be great. Thank you.
Our body actually breaks it down into sugar. And so in order for that sugar to go through the bloodstream to like the different hearts, the organs, the muscles to be used for energy, it needs insulin. Insulin is kind of like the key that opens the door so that the blood sugar can come in and be utilized. And people who have insulin resistance, although their pancreas is secreting lots and lots of insulin, it's not, the key is not fitting in that door. So it's basically that sugar is just staying in the bloodstream and just accumulating. And so eventually it'll get to the point where the body will just stop responding altogether to the insulin and that person can develop diabetes. Now, everyone's different in their body because also we have genetics, we have family hereditary, what runs in the family. And so some families tend to just have, even if they're thin, tend to have an increased risk of that insulin resistance and that they eventually can develop diabetes down the line. However, I've seen, and I will say this, just because it runs in the family doesn't mean you're going to get it. Unless you really have to watch what you're eating, making sure that you're having a more low carb diet and physically active just to kind of maintain it. But so just because it runs in the family doesn't mean you're going to get it. But just because you have obesity doesn't mean you're going to get it either. In Mandy's case, she had PCOS that kind of, not only does she have obesity, but then she has PCOS that kind of puts her at increased risk for prediabetes. And she had PCOS even when she was younger too. So, that's probably why the case. Now, I know she had mentioned toward the end of her story that she did develop diabetes when she, at the end, and she's still managing that. the great thing is she's on Mounjaro and she's lost 133 pounds, 34 pounds, excuse me. So, even though she may have that insulin resistance with the PCOS, it's helping. And,
Clearly.
her A1C is probably really, really great now. But for people with obesity, I have patients who are 300 pounds and they have no insulin resistance. They have no prediabetes, and it's just more, in that case, more genetics.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Wow.
I can see that. I mean, when I was pushing 300, 305, or 310, but I was never pre-diabetic. My numbers were always, I don't want to say stellar, but like my cholesterol, blood pressure, diabetes. It was my hook. I would get my doctors would say, you're obese, so you have problems. And then I'm like, well, run my numbers. And they run the numbers. And I'm like, yeah, I may be obese, but I run and I lift weights and I do Zumba and I do and I hike. So, but yeah, I always felt that maybe it was the exercise that did that helped my numbers look so strong.
So there is I was at a conference and they talked about this. There's a difference between being, you can be healthy fat and you can be unhealthy thin, because there's a difference in how the fat actually gets deposited in the body. Sometimes when you have obesity, you can get fat that's deposited in what we call the subcutaneous layer, which is right under the skin. So it's just kind of staying right there. And then you can have fat that surrounds the organs, like it can surround the heart, surround the liver, surround the I'm thinking. Oh yeah, a lot of other organs. Sorry,
the organs. We understand. Yeah, the organs.
There. But that's when you have like a fatty liver, because all that fat's being surrounded by the organs, and that's what we describe as visceral fat. When people have fat that's surrounded around the organs, it's actually not it makes you more unhealthy, because now with that fat that's kind of clogging the organs, it's not working as well. People, like, for example, people who have a fatty liver, they tend to have higher liver enzymes because of that extra fat. Whereas in cases for other people that or healthy fat, where although they do have a layer of fat, you weigh them, they have a heavier weight. The fat is being deposited in a different way. So it's not causing the unhealthy medical complications because of where the fat is being deposited.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah,
so I always breaking it down.
Yeah, we geek out on this stuff here. Yeah, Jernine was sort of talking about, I don't know if we've lost her or not, but she was talking about talking about that belly fat. And even Jernine, if she comes back, it'll be great. But she was specifically talking about visceral fat, as there she is. Oh, and she was, I didn't even see you. Sorry. You go then. You asked the question.
That's okay. No. It was, it's so ironic that you touched on this, Dr. Shelley, because I wanted to be respectful with the question. And I have it also where in my stomach area, I can lose fat, lose weight, and so in almost every other area, but I seem to have that stomach fat that just won't go anywhere. And so I was talking to Kim earlier about this, and I said, I want to be respectful with that, but my occupation, I kind of get paid to observe people. And I've noticed that if a person is obese, their midsection is many times, not all, but many times, is just extremely round, and it has a large circumference, as opposed to other areas of the body. So, gaining the knowledge from obesity specialists and advocates, we know that hormonal imbalances are a contributor to weight gain, resulting sometimes in obesity. So why is the stomach area an area that holds the most weight, even after fat loss? And it's I call it like a kangaroo pouch. It's like everywhere else has lost, but you still have your stomach area, your abdomen area that may like come down like to the middle of your thigh, or like me where it just protrudes out, like no matter what I do.
So
no matter what I do.
So the reason being is it is definitely hormones. So as women, and I don't know how old you are, Janine, because you look young. So please don't get offended. You're 50. Okay. All right.
I'm 50.
So,
Thank you, though.
I'll be honest with you, I wasn't going to say 50. So,
I wouldn't either.
But that's a good sign.
Right.
But the reason is, and this actually happens to all women, as we start to enter into that perimenopausal, menopausal phase, our estrogen levels start to change. So we start to get, our estrogen levels usually start to decrease. And when our estrogen levels decrease, our body changes. When we were younger, our body was preparing us for childbirth. So a lot of the fat that was being deposited was on our hips and our booty, kind of in that area. We had kind of that apple shape. But then as we start to enter that perimenopausal, that estrogen level starts to decrease. And so we start, and it's just natural. Now it's getting into our midsection where it's like, man, this thing is not going anywhere. And so it's really in our midsection and our thighs, upper thighs. And this is why we see increased heart disease in women after in their in postmenopausal range, because now instead of that fat going to our thighs to help with childbirth, it's going into our midsection and it's putting us at risk for heart disease. But it's just literally hormones. It's just the estrogen level. And actually, even if a person who has obesity, they do experience that. But then you also see it in women in general who may be thin and noticing that, I'm getting a little, like you said, your kangaroo pouch, or the medical terminology is a pannus, where it's just this extra hangover, which you didn't have before.
Oh, wow. It's a real thing, Journey.
Okay. Yeah, because
it's like got a name.
I thought that it was just me. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I mean, like, even people that are on Mounjaro, women that are on Mounjaro or on a GLP-1, they're losing, but it's still like the midsection is just extremely inflated. And
it's going to be the last.
I just have a very inquisitive mind.
It's the last thing that's going to go, unfortunately.
Yeah. Jeez. Mine's getting smaller. I'll take it.
It's getting smaller, but it's like the last.
All in the front now.
Mine is getting there. Mine is getting there, but it's not quite there. And also Kim and Kat, I was talking to Kim about this earlier. While we're on that, I've noticed that if a person is obese, many times they have hyperpigmentation right here in the cheek area. Why is that?
Yeah. So when someone has obesity, they're at an increased risk of prediabetes, insulin resistance. And there is a condition called acanthos nigricans. And it's basically a hyperpigmentation or a darkness. It can be around the neck. You can see it behind somebody's neck here. You can also see it in their face. You see it a lot with African Americans who have darker skin because you can really tell that hyperpigmentation. And it's basically the acanthos nigricans, which is basically another sign of insulin resistance and prediabetes.
Interesting. I have that too.
Wow, thank you.
Right here.
Right here, it's just a little bit darker.
Now I'm gonna go look in the mirror.
No, it's a considerably. I have to
I don't know. I'm so pale. I don't ever anyway. Okay. Anyway,
it's not everybody, but some people do have it.
Anyway, all right. So I got a question for you about how American foods contribute to our diet. I was just in. It was the Rosie episode, South of France. No, anyway. But I was just in Nice, France, and the Mediterranean diet was fantastic. I ate a lot, but we had a lot of vegetables, of course, and but a crap ton of olive oil, honestly, and lots of wine and cheese. But I really only gained like 2 pounds, I think, of water weight. That's what I'm sticking to it. But what is different about the foods in the U.S. versus other countries, then they seem to struggle less with the disease of obesity. I will say one sidebar: they smoke a lot.
They do.
They smoke a lot.
They're
And I
going
was
down
telling
in
my
some way.
husband, I was like, maybe they smoke instead of eating. But anyway, all right, back to you.
And we'll say something. There is a difference in how they grow their vegetables in Europe. There's a difference in how they prepare their food. And I want to say their food is probably less processed because they are, I mean, they're right there by the Mediterranean Sea. So they do have access to just higher quality of fruits and vegetables. And so, and then I will also put a plug and decrease of stress. So they do have a different mentality. I mean, if you,
super good point.
yeah, I mean, people are protesting because they are, they went up on the retirement age from 62 to 64, 2 years. And here in America, we're trying to work to the end. I have patients who are 70. I have one lady, she's like, I'm turning 80 and I think I'm going to stop working now. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Just at 80, huh? so we have a tendency to go, and we're very stressed out. And like I said before, chronic stress can lead to weight gain. But then also, I would say how they prepare the food, less processed, less hormones than what we do here in America. Because, in America, we're trying to bring to the table or to the supermarket food that looks great, that's impeccable.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a blemish, that actually tastes great, and that's in a good stable, and that it will last. And so in order to do that, we sometimes have to put a lot more hormones in it. And sometimes these hormones can contribute to weight gain. I have to say too, the other thing about the Mediterranean diet, they do have yes, they have meat, but it's less meat, but higher on lean fish, chicken, like these things, like you mentioned, lots of fruits and vegetables, a lot of that. Olive oil is a lot better sometimes than your vegetable oil, and definitely a lot better than lard. I mean, we're from the South here, so
right.
It's called Crisco.
Beef tallow, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So all the things that aren't necessarily as healthy for you, they don't have it, and they do a lot more walking. In Europe. Like I remember, I when I was in college, I did a year abroad, and you would see older persons in their 60s and 70s going for a walk, just like going for a walk. I was in Spain, so they had like a siesta, which I was like, this is great. We all need a nap. But it's just a different way of life is how I would say it. Like they really,
I get it. Yeah.
They really, they take a whole month off. Like it's just normal. Like the month of, I don't think it was August or July. Okay, we're all on vacation. Come back next month.
They do that in Australia too. It's
it
crazy.
makes a difference. It makes
a lot of workaholics in the US. Yeah.
But I think also it's really just how they process the vegetables and the foods. And then, honestly, I'll just say one other thing. They did a study looking at processed foods, and they noted that when people ate like more processed foods, even if it was like a hamburger, French fries, stuff like that, they tended to actually gain weight. And then when they switched the diet and gave them less processed foods, they started to lose the weight. So it really makes a difference, the processed foods that we eat. And then we eat more of it here in America.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. I have another question from our community. Kate Jenkins 7. Kate Jenkins 7 on TikTok. She gave me a question for our next podcast, and she wants to know if, with long-term side effects on GLP-1s, basically in short for her, am I going to be on Miralax for the rest of my life? Right? Like, like when you're like, say it's a legit worry. Like if you're in maintenance or if you're taking it, long term, is there really
girl that stuff is
right there? Oh, girl, you better be close to home.
Nina's showing a magnesium citrate bottle for those who are listening. Can't see.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Will I always experience constipation? Yeah. And the answer is, so your body can change. Usually with the long-term effects, and it just depends on the person. Some people are their body gets used to it, and it's less, but it still may be there. Other ways that we do it is that we try to change. Like if you're experiencing more constipation, we sometimes would change it where we're adding more fiber. where I know for me, constipation was really big before. Oh yeah, fiber well. I was like a
Green has all the things.
Prunes at the it was like dried prunes at the grocery store, and I would just eat one a day, and it just kind of helped me to naturally have that normal movement. And then also I would increase my fiber, put in like some chia seeds, put in some flax seeds in the food, just to kind of help. And then naturally I would sometimes put some little bit of fiber in my yogurt so it would dissolve and I couldn't taste it. And so by increasing my fiber, it really helped. The one thing I would say, a plug for fiber, is that I noticed just personally that as Americans, we don't really eat a lot of fiber. Like even though we may eat salads only has like 4 grams of fiber in it. Yeah. And so what I find is that to really have a normal movement, you need around 20 milligrams. So you may have to work a little, it's a lot. You may have to work a little bit harder in kind of getting that in so that you can have a normal bowel movement. But if you've been on the GLP-1s and your side effect is constipation, it may be there as long as you're taking the medication, but there are some ways you can kind of naturally tweak it so that you can be able to have more of a movement and it's not forever.
Kale always works for me.
Which one did you say?
I really think the fiber club needs to be
Kale works.
There we go. Bernice, she's getting her fiber in.
It's so we're talking about
fiber
talk.
Fiber.
Talk. There we go. It moved opposite for me. Yep. Yeah, like I had to kind of figure things out afterwards. Like, whoa, it's starting to work too much. So it went in the opposite direction for me. So I can say, long term, or a couple months in, it did reverse.
And the one thing I would say too is make sure you're getting your water in as well. Because what happens is if you're drinking a lot of water, your body's going to take what it needs and the rest that's left will be in the stool to make it a little bit smoother. So definitely it is important to get your water in. That will help.
Yeah. All right. I do think that's true. I doubled up my water when I was having that problem real bad.
You know what helps to get your water in?
There we go.
Yes, there's Kat with the merch store plug.
Yes.
Kat has the merch store and I actually have a pink and green little Starbucks thing. But doctor, and since we're talking about fiber, what about yellow dragon fruit?
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that, but I didn't know.
I hear that's good. I haven't tasted it myself, but I hear it's good and high in fiber too.
Oh yeah,
Janine
lives by it.
Yeah, Janine loves it.
I live by it, but now it's become so popular. I actually had a fellow flight attendant text me. She's like, "Oh yeah, I found some yellow dragon fruit in Fayetteville. You want me to get you some?" I'm like, "Heck yeah."
It's the black market.
The dragon fruit market.
Look, I mean, like, I am upset for even texting me and asking me this. You should have just gotten it and just told me, yes, I got it for you. But literally, I know that it doesn't work for some people, but it has just taken TikTok by storm. And I was so bound that I'm like, I need something. Yeah. Literally do not leave the house.
Yeah.
Once you eat it, don't leave.
I think it's hilarious that in 2023,
constipation, yellow dragon fruit.
Yeah. But a fruit that makes you poop has gone viral. Like and that we can't find it in stores. Like that's the power of TikTok.
Fiber has gone viral.
I didn't realize how serious it was about poop.
Farmers must be like,
it's serious.
Oh, it's really serious. It's super serious. Super serious. Because when you find something that works, you're going to search it out. I got up one morning at 7:00 in the morning and went to Kroger on Howell Mill Road. And I'm like,
there it is. I know that Kroger.
I was so happy.
Like, we're taking some.
She does it. She'll just be like, she'll go buy some.
Go ahead and get some. Put it in my basket.
It was like when during the pandemic for toilet paper, we're like, you stop buying some, you got to get some for you.
Pandemic.
When we have our Atlanta get together, Janine, we will be in charge of bringing the fruit. That's what we'll do. We just won't eat it together because that would be horrible.
Gotcha.
With a little bow on it, people take it home.
To eat it when you're home.
Yeah, by yourself.
You need to eat it when you're home because trust.
The window's closed. Yeah.
Look, freeze.
I think we still have Mandy with us, but if not, it's okay. But
Mandy,
we've been on quite a while. Everybody, I do have significant storms here. So I want to make sure we have an opportunity to wrap up and thank our guests for joining us, just in case something happens.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shelley.
This is all like a volunteer, so we're very happy that anybody's been able to do anything. But Dr. Shelley, and thank you so much for coming and telling us your story, community story, at the same time as helping really validate a lot of the things that Mandy has experienced in her journey. And Mandy, thank you so much. And I'm sorry if we can't see you. I don't know if you know that. Thank you so much
I know you can't see me, but I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, good. We can hear her. Yes.
Thank you so much for being so brave and telling your story. I promise it's going to help somebody. And when it does, when I get that message, I'm going to send it to you. Okay.
Oh, that would be so awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I will exit you out the building. The exits are, how's it go, Janine? These are the exits. But thank you so much for being here.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, that was great. That was a very emotional, but good episode.
It was great.
It was so informative. It was almost like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. I mean, I have to edit it, but it's like, it was so powerful. I almost was like so out of the moment. I don't know. It was just like really good. I think these stores.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. I was losing it, but I'm lucky. I knew what it was before, so I could like prepare myself. But hearing her tell it, I could empathize with her so deeply, understanding that pain and that weight. And I do think in general that women, we tend to take on all the things, and it does get very, very heavy, and that could be no matter what size you are. I just think that, and I don't know if that's just been my lived experience, is that many times that seems to be the case. And I don't know if that's just culturally how things are, in our country or what, but I mean, I just feel like that's something we all really, really take on, but I just think it was really great that she was able to come and share it though, and I'm really glad that we didn't lose Janine, that was great.
I know, right?
We lost her for like a hot second and she came right back in. Huzzah.
Yes.
All right. Well, it was great having you guys with us, and it was so nice to have our guest as well. We'll do our classic sign-offs, and mine's basic.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta come with something new. Kat's always got something fresh.
I have one.
Technology cat. So mine's gonna.
Technology was not my friend tonight.
I know. I mean, it's one of those days. We've had 2 of these episodes like this where it's just been bananas.
It's okay.
But we got it done because we're the crew that gets it done. But anyway, so I'm so glad that you guys spent time with us today. We really appreciate it. I know it's not always the perfect audio and the perfect visual, but like, just know it's because we have no money. It is what it is. Okay. So just love us anyway. Love us through it. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, for fun and for the community and everything. Like,
yes, I mean it is. It's great. Good.
We're here to connect.
Fun.
Yeah, scrappy fun.
Yes. But we hope you really enjoyed it as much as we did. But thank you so much. Just know, especially from this episode, I mean, we even have doctors that struggle with obesity, right? We're learning that. So you're not alone. It's not your fault. It's not. And of course, hasta la pasta.
I love
What about you, Kat?
I found one from Bette Midler. Group conformity scares the pants off me because it's so often a prelude to cruelty toward anyone who doesn't want to or can't join the big parade.
Oh, that was dark, Kat.
Well, it made me think about conformity tonight with Mandy's story. Like,
yeah.
You want to fit in, you want to group conformity, and
yeah. I mean, I think in general too, like if we're always like that, right? Like we're always, your quotes are so deep. We're always trying to think like back to beauty norms, right? Like,
that's what I was thinking.
Like in beauty standards, like if we're always like, this is the BMI we need to be because the doctors say so, right? And why it doesn't mean anything, Like, I think that's a really good point. That's
just being like,
as well.
being quiet with this, like you were saying, where we're getting loud with our conditions, with GLP-1s, with obesity medicine. We're not conforming. We're not going to sit here and take the narrative that they're giving us. So
no, love it.
All right, Bet.
Yeah, Bet. Rosie loves Bet.
Yeah.
Side note.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, Janine, what's your sign up?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be consistent and just say it's a marathon, not a sprint, because it truly is.
It's true.
It is. It's like
I'm in a marathon. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a marathon all this time. Like I can't imagine it would just be solved overnight. Like
right. And I mean, we got to keep going, because if we stop, then you'll never know what the end will be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop, your legs will start to hurt.
Well, we did that for you last episode.
That's true.
We lost. So we did your sign off last episode for you.
So,
I know. It was sad. All right, cool. Well, it's been grand, ladies. Let's hope that I don't get electrocuted. It looks like you guys made it out okay. So there's a good sign.
We did good.
Okay. All right. All right, everybody. We love you. See you next week. Awesome.
See you next week. Love ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast, because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you have this great resource, because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need. Today's episode is brought to you by Ro, a telehealth platform that's changing the game of GLP-1 access. What sets Ro apart? Ro understands the challenges of navigating insurance hurdles and the skyrocketing prices of GLP-1 medications. That's why they specialize in getting insurance approvals for GLP-1s. And if insurance is a barrier, they go a step further by prescribing brand name zepbound vials for prices close to those of compound GLP-1s. With Ro, you're not just getting a prescription, you're getting a partner in your journey that's helping you access affordable treatment and guiding you every step of the way. Whether it's insurance approvals or cost-effective alternatives, Ro is here to make sure that you get the medication you need. Visit ro.co/plussides with a Z today to see how they can help you take control of your weight management journey with affordable, accessible care. That's ro.co/plussides with a Z, making healthcare work for you. Check out the link in our show notes for more details. Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.